Hi, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Career Capital Collective podcast. I am your host, Sarah Robson.
And Kayleigh Gaspari.
So, for today, we wanted to do a reintroduction because since we started this podcast and recorded a number of months ago, there have been a lot of significant changes that have happened in both of our lives.
Yes.
And so we kind of want to reintroduce where we are, where we're living, what we're doing for work, and all of that.
So why don't we kick off with you, Sarah? Because I think you've been going through a bit of a transition, one that's very admirable. And where are you at right now? What happened recently? Tell us.
Okay, so a couple of months ago, I had a number of things happen. So I learned that my job would be made redundant. I would be losing my work visa and my green card application to live in the United States. And my relationship ended. All of these things happened within literally the same couple of week period.
Right.
I learned about the job first, and then the pressure of that put undue pressure on my relationship. And ultimately with the relationship, we were just in different stages of our life.
Right.
So I'm ready to settle down. He's not, etc. And because of the added pressure of my work situation, I just felt like it was kind of do or die, and It died is really what happened. So where I'm at now is I've decided to start filming things literally on a daily basis about this transition period. I started a diary account essentially of the behind the scenes, the BTS of what's going on in my life. And so I'm definitely leaning into the content creation side. With that, I have decided to start my own business. I have incorporated a business in Delaware, and I am also moving out of LA where I've been living.
Ooh.
And I'm moving back to Toronto temporarily while I get my business up and running, and I essentially sponsor myself through an investor visa called the E2. So the reason why I'm doing all this is because I want to kind of take the power back into my own hands. With losing your job and your work visa, I mean, it's really out of my control, and the work visa is tied to my employer. So it's completely out of my control.
Yeah.
Now that's gone. And so definitely, obviously, when this happened, I was devastated. I definitely needed time to process, but I feel like now, based off of just kind of not giving any more fucks, I literally feel like when you lose everything, you actually have nothing left to lose.
Right.
That it's weirdly given me confidence to share my story online, which has so far been well received, which
you've done amazing.
It's very humbling. And I would say it definitely balances cringe with embarrassment with empowerment. But in sharing this, I'm also rebuilding from kind of the ground up. And so where I'm at right now is essentially starting this business, signing on clients, trying to get things up and running as quickly as possible so that I can have the option to move back to the United States, which is my plan. And why the United States? I have an option to stay in Canada. I was flirting with the idea of moving to London.
Right.
I really took the last couple of months to think deeply about what do I actually want to achieve? And my happiest self would be giving myself time to work for myself.
Right.
I have no dependence right now. I don't have a relationship. I have essentially unlimited time to focus on a business, which as someone that wants to settle down and have a family at some point, I feel like now is the time to bet on myself. And if it blows up into flames and a year from now it is not working out, I will go get another corporate job because A, I will need to make money and sustain myself, but B, I just think I need to at least give myself 1 year. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
So you're betting on yourself. I love it. I love to see it. It is truly inspirational to see you go and do your own thing and just fully put yourself out there. So good for you.
Thank you. I think it definitely facing rejection has been a huge redirection, and it's been extremely humbling. So I'm not going to try and be oh yeah, life's amazing and whatnot, because it's ups and downs. But I feel like now that I've announced to my friends and family and kind of the world that this is what I'm doing, it's A, keeping myself accountable.
Right.
And B, I feel like there's momentum now.
Yeah.
That it's easier to just keep moving things a little bit one step ahead and one step ahead. Whereas before, I just needed time to truly process.
Understood. And it's the power of accountability too.
Yeah.
Not to get too woo-woo on us right now, but
Love the woo-woo.
There's this idea that once you put something into the universe that will conspire to happen for you. And like,
Totally.
I genuinely believe that weird, unexpected, synergistic things
Yeah.
will happen when you're like fully putting yourself out there with the best intention. So
Totally. And I'm literally like, all right, universe, what do you have for me this year?
I'm ready.
I'm ready. And there are certain things I want. I do want to meet my partner. But right now, I will say dating is on pause and I am focusing all my time and attention on starting this business because that's what my life needs right now.
Yeah, I understood. Amazing. I love it. I'm rooting for you.
Thank you. And so to put that same question on you, Kayleigh, where are you right now? And what's like the big shifts that have happened in the last couple of months?
So I think I'll do a last couple of years for those who don't know me, but
Yeah.
I've like worked and traveled. I've been to like over 52 countries. I was always on the
Amazing.
move. And like the last few years, I had done my MBA in ESADE in Barcelona. So I was living in Barcelona for a year and a half.
Amazing.
I ended up moving to Munich right after that because I got a job at Amazon, which, you know, I thought looked really great on paper. And
Yeah.
I had spent so much money. I wanted to really prove myself that I could get like the best job. And
Right.
was very much kind of like chasing titles and like trying very hard to get ahead. And I
Yeah.
wanted to make like significant income. I wanted to be an executive.
Right.
Ended up moving to the Bay Area after that job in Amazon because I wasn't truly fulfilled. Like working in big tech, it just wasn't for me. It's a great job, but
Yeah.
it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
So ended up getting a job in tech in the Bay Area, which actually ended up failing, which I have another episode where
Yeah.
I talk about that failure. And what it truly taught me was positioning is everything. So, you know, you can look at that as something that didn't work out because similar to your burn down situation,
Yeah.
I lost my job. I lost all my equity, which was like a big portion of why
Yeah.
I had actually taken that.
Yeah.
As well, a relationship kind of failed during that time.
Yeah.
And like the way that I've been looking at that is you can say, hey, play the victim. Like I lost these things.
Yeah.
But what we're both trying to do, I think, is say, I was able to successfully, as an executive at that company, improve the unit economics like and financials to a place where we were able to sell.
Yeah.
We safely landed the ship for everyone. Everybody kept their jobs.
Yeah.
And like that's a huge privilege and opportunity that I was able to be part of a transition where we got acquired and we were positioning that company for a sale. So
I love
there's like two sides to every story, right?
Yeah.
It's like, how are you taking those opportunities? And where I'm at right now is after that experience, I went through this like transformational, like spiritual journey where I was like, I don't want to be so on edge and burnt out all the time.
Yeah.
I was like, I deserve a calm life. I deserve a calm nervous system.
Yeah.
During my breakup, I actually met my husband, which was kind of crazy because usually you don't want to date during that time.
Yeah.
But he was exactly what I needed. Like I felt like he came to me in my period of need when I was like
Yeah.
alone and suffering. We ended up getting eloped. I got my green card during the transition. I was able to actually get a higher paying, better executive job in
Yeah.
manufacturing in a more stable industry where now I have time to do other things for myself.
Right.
And it's just like a life that I feel like I'm more in control of and I've created on my own terms.
Yeah.
Demystifying false beliefs that you can't have it all. Because I truly believe that we as women, like, you know, we're told that you need to stay in your lane or
Yeah.
you can't make a certain amount of money.
Or there's
and
trade-offs.
Trade-offs, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's like, so where I'm at right now, like I'm on a mission to demystify the trade-offs and say you can have it all. And we're here to show you that.
I love that. And you did move to Nashville for the job.
I did, yes. Lower taxes.
I love it. As for anyone that hasn't been to Nashville, Nashville is truly on the up and up.
It truly is.
Yeah.
And like to your point, being opportunistic and taking opportunities when they come to you, like Sarah starting her own job, she's financing her own visa. Like,
Yeah.
I think you get to determine how successful you are in your life. And we're trying to show you that you don't have to do it through the traditional means anymore.
Totally. Totally. You don't have to do it through the traditional means whatsoever. I will say there's obviously like a jumping off the cliff, right? Like where you're just like hoping for the best. And I think when you have periods where things are just like falling apart, and I do see like similarities in our stories in the sense of like when one thing breaks down, it's like almost everything does.
Right.
And it's like the relationship, the job, for me, the work visa, like all kind of fell apart literally at the exact same time.
Right.
And it's kind of that burn down that you mentioned. And it's like kind of a beautiful thing.
It is because it creates space for what's meant for you, right? Like
Yeah.
you are meant to learn that lesson. And unfortunately, I feel like the lesson has to be super hard
Yeah.
for you to be forced into a situation where you're not comfortable in your job,
Yeah.
in your relationship, whatever that is.
Totally. And it also provides so much time and space for other things, right? Like when you you think about how much time a relationship takes up or a job, right? Like the amount of hours on a weekly basis, now literally that space is opened up for other opportunities that like my blinders would have just stayed on focused on what's in front of me. Whereas now I'm like, oh wow, there's like all these other things that I can explore, which is truly a gift. Obviously, it doesn't come without like some anxiety and wanting to feel like, oh, I need this figured out. But it's like the world's just opened up in a way. And I've been like very pleasantly surprised by like what opportunities have come my way since now the blinders are literally like off.
Right, exactly. And I do think the opportunities will come. It's just a matter of being able to see them and being able to humbly accept them. And it's not like it's going to be easy, because that's exactly what we're trying to share here.
Yeah.
It's not easy to get to your dream life, but you are able to build it. And if you're resilient and if you keep positive and like keep trying, then it will happen.
Totally. I think another thing I've been thinking about recently is that like timelines are artificial
100%.
and society makes us feel like you need to be married by a certain age, have kids by a certain age. And there's almost like this like fear of like, you need to do XYZ by XYZ age.
Right.
And right now, where obviously I'm now single, I am figuring out my own career. I'm essentially starting over. This is not where I thought I was going to be at 34. Like when I had pictured 10 years ago where I wanted to be by now, it was probably like on my second or third kid in the house that I owned, like things just in a different position.
Yeah.
Instead of being hard on myself, which obviously I could because I had these ideas, now it's like, all right, now I can just literally create this. And also, even if I had those things, like I want to be with the absolute right partner.
Right.
And I really think the biggest decision in life, more than anything, is like your partner and your partner in crime for life. And so now I'm like, oh, I have this opportunity and space to meet that person. But while I'm doing that, I can also spend time bettering myself.
Right.
But it is very easy to get caught up in this societal pressure of like the shoulds by a certain age. But all of that is just so artificial.
It's so made up. And the thing is, I hate that people say this, but it's true. Like you will have it when you least expect it if you're like focusing on yourself and doing your thing. Because when I had my burn down or whatever, I was 33. Yeah. Within 2 years, married, house, green card, like everything turned around so quickly because I was just like, I don't really have anything else that I'm going to do except for just focus on myself.
100%.
And it opens up all of these opportunities that you're not experiencing. So you're not behind, you're on your own timeline.
Totally.
And I'm 35 now and I feel like I'm in a good spot, but had some of these things not happen, I wouldn't be where I am today because I wouldn't have learned the lessons I needed to learn to have a more stable life.
Totally. And then I've noticed with your story and then just with a bunch of my friends, like the timelines are just shorter and more condensed when it's the right thing when you're in your 30s. So like if you're in your 20s, you were dating for 3 to 5 years, then you get engaged, then a year later you get married, blah, blah, blah. Now it's like you can meet someone, you can be engaged in like 3 months to 5 months and like have a kid in less than a year.
I got married in less than a year. And part of it was yes for the green card, but to your point, it's like these timelines, once you go through something where you're kind of reinventing yourself, you're like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm just going to do whatever makes me happy.
Yeah.
And things work out for you when you're just owning your own power.
Totally. And if it's like the right opportunity or if it's your person, like you don't need to wait as long.
Yeah, exactly.
You really just don't because you just know that that's it for you. You don't have to like spend time just like circling the hoop, essentially.
And what you were saying about timelines is just so true. Like we have been taught as millennials to like, you need to do certain things by a certain time of your life. Like people are like, oh, when are you having kids? I'm like, I don't want to have kids. Like that's my prerogative. And
I love that.
You know, like maybe other people want to and I'm happy for them, but like we get to live by our own rules and we define them for ourselves. Yeah. So
I think by you traveling so much growing up and me, myself also traveling, I think it opens up your mind to other ways of living because
100%.
You just see that it's like, it's very different in every different society. And it's really up to you to create your own life. Like at the end of the day, doesn't matter what anyone's opinions are. Like it's your life that you want to be happy with.
And you have to live with it and look back and say, was I a puss? Like, was I too scared to take the opportunity? Sorry.
I love that.
Was I too scared to take a risk on myself? Right. Like I feel like a lot of times we don't take the chances ourselves. We don't feel worthy of the opportunities. And now that I don't know if it's like being 35, I'm like, I want to give myself the best possible life. And I've heard you say that too. You're like, I don't care what people think of me.
Well, I think looking forward, if I'm like 80 or 90 years old, like I want to look back and be like, oh, I did every single thing I wanted to do.
Exactly.
And I keep finding that the things that I feel, say, like embarrassed to share, or I'm like, ooh, I shouldn't say that, or ooh, I shouldn't post that. that is the stuff that actually resonates mostly with folks.
Right.
And it's the stuff that it feels embarrassing. But then once you do it, it's like anything, you build the muscle and you become stronger at doing it. And I think just like the noise of like what people think, like people's attention spans are so short. They are
don't
thinking
care.
about you for 2 seconds and then they're on to the next thing. And really people are thinking about themselves.
Correct.
And so I think just shifting to being like, all right, I just want to do what's selflessness in a sense that you're just not caring what people think, but like doing things in like a respectable way with still values.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's helpful in some regard to break the narrative too, that we all have to have it together and have it figured out. Like everyone's dealing with their own shit, right? So it's like, have a little grace for everyone who's going through their own journeys, and just like putting yourself out there, I'm sure is helpful for other folks who are also going through it, who've been embarrassed or shameful or whatever. Like
totally,
it's not helpful necessarily for us to just hide behind these facades. Like we're just laying it all out on the table in 2026.
Totally. Yeah. The highlight reel it's not real. It's a highlight of like pretty much a manufactured way of living that's like really not the way that real life is. So I think honestly, we're so happy to reintroduce ourselves where we are now versus where we started. Definitely things have like moved and shifted in many different ways.
Right.
And so we just love the opportunity to be able to have an honest conversation with you guys and be able to just share more real and raw content with you.
Yes. So if you want to grow your career in your capital and you're inspired by, starting your journey over or what it looks like on the other side and creating a life that's, done on your own terms, then tune in, share, and we're so excited to be here with you.
Thanks for joining us. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Career Capital Collective podcast with Sarah Robson and Kayleigh Gaspari.
We hope you feel inspired and empowered to take charge of your career and build the life you truly want. Follow us on Instagram at Career Capital Collective.